Welcome to episode 1 of the A for Effort series, Short Stuff. I'm Lex Fusco, and joined with me as per usual is my wonderful husband and writer in crime, Connor McKibben Vaughn.
Sup?
Today we are taking a deep dive into my creative writing portfolio. This was a portfolio I put together after my very first creative writing class. I took it when I was 14 years old. I was a freshman at Garnet Valley High School, and it was Miss Swanick's creative writing class. So we're just going to do these in order. So we're going to start off, this episode will just be the first two in this amalgamation. We have...
Are they in the order that they were written?
No.
Okay. So
I don't know. I don't know the concept of the order of these.
Okay. This is 14-year-old Lex's
This might have been
choices
and least to most favorite, saving the best for last.
Oh, that's not how you do that.
Why? You want people to keep reading.
Yeah.
You don't want to get worse.
No. If you want people to keep reading, you do the best first. They're like, wow, this is great. If you do your worst first, then you're like, ugh, okay. And then they shut the book and they forget about it.
That's very fair. And you know what? We'll see if that's what we got here today.
Well, we're going to keep reading regardless, though. So we're trapped.
Oh, all right. So because this was for a creative writing class, after each title, we will get to see what assignment it was for. Exposed, Petite Paragraphs. And then a little description of what we're in for here is having a laugh, shedding a tear, or letting out a scream at someone else's expense has never felt so right. Exposed sheds light on 6 random characters, and even a glimpse of their stories says enough.
Says enough about what?
I don't know, and it doesn't sound grammatically correct to me.
It's a big run-on sentence.
It's a big, yes. Exposed. Sparky. I remember throwing the fireball with perfect execution, the warm flames turning in my hand, slightly scorching my flesh. I laughed when I finally released it.
We are opening on a wizard. Okay.
Maybe. It hurled through the air and exploded through the large metal door of the safe. The bullet of flames made a gaping hole and then evaporated into purple smoke on the other side. I slid my arm through the hole and moved my hand around on the inside. I felt the velvet box brush against my fingertips, and a burst of victory tore through me. I grabbed it and brought it...
What does that mean? A burst of victory tore through you?
Yes, very excited. It was very exciting. I grabbed it and brought it out into the dim light. I marveled it for a moment. I opened the lid of the flat case. My fingers danced across the shining diamonds and sapphires. I was about to try it on when I heard them coming. Matt Perkins.
That's it?
That's it.
That is not enough of a glimpse.
That's it. No, that's quite literally what it is. A glimpse.
I know, but you said is enough. That was a lie. I am so confused.
Are you calling me a liar?
Calling teenage you a liar.
That's fair. Matt Perkins. I remember when my best friend was absolutely flabbergasted about his science project assignment. We were all assigned a mammal that we were supposed to research. Matt was assigned a bottlenose dolphin, and this was his reaction. What the heck? The science teacher has some nerve calling herself a doctor. She assigned me a dolphin for a mammal project.
Oh, so you just wrote about an idiot.
I then made the mistake of asking him why that was a problem, because he then replied, hello, everyone knows that a dolphin is an amphibian. At first I thought he was kidding, but in reality he was 150% serious. I finally convinced him otherwise, and then Joelle decided to jump into the conversation. If I could be an animal, I want to be a squirrel, she told.
That's not what we're talking about, Joelle. God, I hate you. God, I wish you just didn't. This is about Matt.
This is about Matt.
The title is Matt Perkins. Are you Matt Perkins? No? Then get out of here.
Matt inquired as to why she would want to be a small furry mammal. They live in trees and neighborhoods and like singing junk.
And they get them nuts.
Oh my God. And why wouldn't she want to be an animal that was smarter than her? I added. I don't know how this ended up being about shitting on Joelle, despite the fact that Matt is obviously the moron in this situation.
They're both idiots. Why does she think that squirrels sing?
Probably maybe because Alvin and the Chipmunks.
They're chipmunks.
It's in the name, but she doesn't seem to be the brightest candle on the cupcake to begin with. All right. The
That's
next one is just called Holiday Hall, so it's not even a person. I broke the rules. This is great. Okay.
Maybe the character is the hall.
I remember Halloween because it is the best holiday of all time.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you, 14-year-old Lex. What's this garbage bullshit? I feel betrayed. Anyway. Such festivities like people of all ages and sizes dressing up as ghoulish creatures, superheroes, or something large and obnoxious, coming to houses to rob adults of candy, frightening tales of necromantic serial killers in hockey masks, the jack-lanterns.
Close.
The jack-lanterns, and of course the candy corn. So much candy corn. And that's it.
Do you like candy corn?
Yes.
Have you always liked candy corn?
Yes.
So you've always been wrong.
Oh my god. Okay, so this is actually an interesting insight into me as a writer. So at this point in time, I had actually just finished the very first draft of another novel series that will never see the light of day called Things That Go Bump, which is about a vampire and a demon going on adventures and blah, blah, blah. But at one point in that series, they fight a necromantic leech or a necro leech, which is basically
I wouldn't have gotten it if you hadn't explained what necro leech was short for.
Thank you. But it's basically the next evolution of vampire, and they're the worst and really annoying. But the computer kept correcting it to necromantic. And I was like, oh, maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Maybe I'm spelling the word I thought I was inventing correctly. And so necromantic, I don't know what it means, but it's what Microsoft Word wanted me to continue to use, and it's in here right now, and it just gave me
didn't you just use it for Jason? You were referencing Jason.
I referenced Jason as a necromantic serial killer. That's what I wanted to refer to him as a necromantic. But the computer auto-corrected it to necromantic.
Oh.
And I don't know what that means. I really hope it doesn't mean, like, sleeps with dead bodies.
That's necrophilia.
I know.
Necromantic is when
you just love a dead body?
Yeah. Well, you get really excited about them. You know, mania.
Okay.
So, ooh.
Okay.
Which is why he's a serial killer, because then there's more dead bodies around
Oh,
him.
I love it. You'd get along quite well with Milch. Vampira. I remember my first taste of him. Vampira.
Why are you so sure of that?
Because that's who she is. Vampira. I remember my first taste of immortality. It was a taste unlike anything I had ever experienced. It is sweeter than sugar, finer than wine, more tart than a fresh lemon.
Those are all different things, and either you're trying to be confusing or it tastes different every second.
It bangs on a whole bunch of cylinders. I remember opening my eyes for the first time after my transformation. The full moon rising, casting away shadows and stars as I rose from the ground, oddly enough cast a syrupy taste on my tongue. Now I was made into something pure, something imaginations could merely scratch the surface of. The first taste of such a gift for most is something you would never want to forget. But then there are some who never want to remember. That was just such a fucking mess of a sentence.
I feel like that's the faux deepness of a teenager just on the page. Some don't want to forget, but some don't want to remember.
Here's the thing. The end of that sentence makes sense. Like, some would never want to forget, but then there are some who never want to remember. I get that part. But the first taste of such a gift for most is something you. That's what I'm saying. Like, the beginning of this sentence is just such a fucking mess of random words. I have no idea what the sentence is trying to say. All
also,
right. We're almost
rising
done.
from the syrupy grave? That's weird.
That's not great. That doesn't
Is
sound
the
like
implication is that there's blood in her mouth already? Is this mine? Why wouldn't it be anyone else's? I just popped out of the ground.
No. All right. Jack Sorensen. I remember hitting my first home run. Finally, something wholesome.
He's going to kill someone with a home run.
Oh, no.
I guarantee it.
No.
Either that or he's going to just never amount to
I also
anything.
don't know anything about baseball. I was 15 years old when I learned baseball didn't have a halftime.
As a 7th-inning stretch.
Yeah, not a halftime, though. I remember hitting my first home run. I was sort of a batting virgin, you could say.
What does that mean?
I was more of a pitcher than a hitter. I dug my heels into
Close to a very sexual phrase. And I think you were aware?
I wasn't aware. I dug my heels into the dirt by home plate and sweat stung my eyes as drops from my head fell into them.
You don't sweat when you play baseball.
Well, maybe he was nervous.
Okay.
He's a fucking virgin. He's a fucking nerd virgin.
He's afraid of the ball.
He's afraid of the ball. The helmet on my head seemed to squeeze my brain. For a second, I stopped thinking, and the whoosh of the ball whizzing by me didn't even register. I didn't even swing the bat until I heard the ball smack the glove of the kid behind me. I snapped out of it and readied myself again. The pitcher was throwing heat. He threw the ball once more, and I sung with my eyes closed.
Swung.
Yes.
So that's just a missing W.
Yeah. Crack! The collision of the ball and the aluminum bat made a loud sound, and it sent...
Also, you're not supposed to swing with your eyes closed. That's very dangerous.
It's super dangerous. The collision of the ball and the aluminum bat made a loud sound, and it sent an uncomfortable bolt through my body.
How old are they that they're playing with aluminum?
Probably 15?
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how he played baseball for that long without having hit a ball ever.
This is his first time. He made it to the team for some reason. He doesn't seem to want to play.
He doesn't even want to play baseball.
I just want to be a pitcher. You still have to bat. I don't want to be.
But as I watched it soar, becoming nothing but a silhouette in the sun, everything was A-OK. And that's it.
Oh, he just had a happy time.
Yeah.
My life's going to turn out great. And then he tore his knee in the minors and became an alcoholic.
Why did you have to hurt Jack like that? He's the first one we've hit that's normal.
Well, those kids are kind of assholes, but that's normal.
They're just idiots. Okay, last one. Who has my favorite name, by the way? I don't know why I haven't used this in anything else because it's fucking great. Xavier Rook.
How do you spell rook?
R-O-O-K.
Oh, okay.
Like, fuck yeah. Anyway, he's probably got something stupid. Oh, yep, he does. Okay. I remember riding her mind for the first time.
What does that mean?
It was horrible, and it will haunt me until the end of my days. I broke an oath. No, I shattered it.
That's the same thing. It doesn't matter. It's broken. God, Xavier,
But no,
you're so dramatic.
He fucked it up so bad. I swore that I would never do this to her, but I did. Maybe they were right, and I am a monster.
Oh, my God.
She had a gun, and she was going to kill him. What was I supposed to do?
Let it happen.
I just waved my hand.
If you have the ability to jump into people's minds, you're going to see some shit. You just got to deal with it. He's going to kill him. Oh, no. Jump into someone else's brain.
Yeah. What was I supposed to do? I just waved my hand, looked into her beautiful blue eyes, and said, stop. I could see the blankness swim in her vision as the command echoed in her head. She dropped the weapon and then stared at me in utter fear. I had violated her, and she has every right to fear me. You are supposed to fear monsters.
What is he?
I guess he's just someone who can
I'm
control
imagining like
minds?
a genie that just like bursts out of smoke and goes, "Don't do it. Don't shoot him." And then she obeys him because of the magic in his brain.
Well, so he says riding her mind as if it's something that he can do, like he can enter the mind of other people and make them do stuff.
Yeah.
So that sounds like who he is as a person.
Well, he's not a person.
Oh.
He's a monster.
Oh, right. Yes, he did say that several times. So yeah, that was exposed. Oof, okay.
I have more questions than I started with. the little description promised it would be enough.
I know. I'm so sorry. The next one, which if you can imagine, is even angstier. It's called Tears of a Fallen.
Oh boy, a fallen what?
Probably angel. This is for an assignment called Summer Storms, Summer Sunshine.
I'm assuming this is like summer homework you had that you...
This was like one of the very first things that we did when because I took the creative writing class in September.
Oh, so
it was like we just come back, and I was like, oh, we'll write about summer.
Well, I mean,
and I had just actually had lap band surgery over the summer, so I didn't really do anything exciting outside of that.
I sat in a bed. There were some tubes in me.
Yeah, I got cut open because I'm fat. Okay. The description for this is Lythe and Luci have always had their differences.
Lythe is a name?
Lythe is a name. Lythe.
Do you know anyone named Lythe?
I do not.
Did you hear that name somewhere?
I did not. But you know what? It looks fucking cool on the page.
Yeah, until you say it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, Lythe. And someone
goes...
Do you
mean skinny? No, that's his name. Oh.
Is he fat? Is it like an oxymoron kind of?
No. He's definitely built like a scene boy, if I know myself, and I do unfortunately know myself.
All right. This description?
Oh, the description for the short story is Lythe and Luci have always had their differences. Lythe is the dark and Luci light. When Lythe's heart is broken, leaving Luci to pick up the pieces, she reveals a secret that should have stayed buried.
So they're not dating?
Mm-mm.
Are they people, or is there an fallen angel? We'll find out.
We'll find out. Tears of a Fallen.
It's so melodramatic.
Lythe sat on the grass and ripped the petals off of a white rose from a bouquet on the headstone in front of him. We have started.
That's
peak.
That's a 10 right there.
Peak emo girl swag, guys. Oh my God. There are tears in my eyes. Okay. He gripped the stem of the flower so hard the thorns burrowed into his soft flesh, causing dark red to stain his pale skin.
Don't do that, man. That hurt.
Dark, wet hair hung in his eyes as the August rain descended from above.
So he's sitting in a graveyard in a storm,
holding white
roses, bleeding from them, and pulling the petals out.
Yeah.
Man, I can't tell if I feel bad because I think his girlfriend's dead or if he's just because he's such a fucking cliche.
Good. Those are good instincts, Connor. Because he's both. All right. Don't tell me you're sulking again, Lythe. A cocky girl's voice scoffed from behind him. Lythe.
Don't feel so bad because she's dead, you fucking pussy. People die. Move on.
Lythe didn't bother to turn around. Hugging his knees closer to his chest, his right fist gripped the rose tightly. The rain fell harder.
The weather reacts to how upset he is?
I was actually waiting for you, sunshine, Lythe seethed. Tears fell from his blacked-out eyes. You couldn't...
What does that mean? Like, his eyes are all black?
His eyes
are all
black.
Like a supernatural demon?
Yes. You couldn't distinguish between the summer rain and the drops of anguish that flowed from his empty eyes.
Oh my God, he's crying.
He's crying. He's sad. He's a sad boy. Oh, don't be such a drama queen. Would you let up with the rain already, Mr. Gloom and Doom? Oh, great, my hair is ruined. Luci flipped her long, wet locks over her shoulder. It was loosely curled and became darker as the rain soaked in.
It's not curled anymore. It's very wet.
It's loosely curled now because it's wet. Mascara was running down her face, making the silvery blue in her eyes pop. Mud spattered the bottom of the white gown that clung to her slim body as the rain came down with a vengeance.
She's wearing a white dress?
Yes. Lythe ignored her. Luci walked over and sat down beside him. She could feel the wet mud drench her butt as she sunk into the ground.
Gross. What a gross description.
You're thinking about her, huh? Luci questioned. Lythe looked at her and nodded quietly. That's good. It's sorrow you're feeling, by the way, Luci informed. Lythe glared at her for a moment. That's not funny, he growled. Oh, come on. It's a little funny. It's something that you feel in your soul. I think that girl may have given you one, Lythe, Luci continued. Lythe didn't respond, but his mind swam deeper into thought.
I want to shoot them both. I want to make sure. Why? This is something I've noticed.
Okay.
Maybe it's a bigger conversation for later.
Okay.
But why do all of your characters who are supposed to be friends just bully their friends? Like, why are you sad Stop being fucking sad.
I didn't have any friends.
So you thought that friends just yelled at each other for feeling emotions?
Yeah. That's basically the response that I had learned at this point. Don't have emotions. They're fucking bad.
Didn't you watch, like, Friends to see how people react? Oh, that's not a great example. They're really mean to each other.
And I guess, like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of the shows that I watched, were very sarcastic. And, like, you knew that that people cared about you based off of the quippiness that you suffered.
That's just bad TV.
No, it was great TV. So there is a break here in the story with these cool little symbols that are signifying basically a commercial break. Because now we're going to a different point in time. Are you ready? Are you ready to fucking rumble?
I feel like I understand basic story beats at this point, so you wouldn't have to explain.
I did have to explain to, the listener that won't understand why there's a huge gap in what we're doing right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Lythe walked up to the large oak door, stood on the stone platform, and raised his hand to knock. He hesitated for a moment. Lythe gripped the brass lion's head knocker and slammed it twice. He took a step back and shoved his hands into his pockets. He hummed a soft tune and surveyed the area. He noticed that the June wildflowers that grew around various spots near the door began to wilt and die. Lythe snickered. He began to grow impatient.
He's been waiting for 10 seconds, and he's watching plants die.
He's killing them.
On purpose?
Probably.
Fuck anything beautiful.
Lythe had just gotten a new charge. His job was to collect certain lost souls, mostly the damned. Lythe sort of enjoyed it. He met the oddest characters.
Sort of. It's a living.
He would take them downstairs and they'd be kicking and screaming. Lythe chuckled for a moment. I wonder what this one did, he thought to himself. Lythe tapped his foot and then checked his watch. He was about to knock again when the door opened and a beautiful girl stood before him. Lythe marveled at her for a second. She had magnificent, shiny, light brown hair that was done in a low braid worn over her shoulder. Her skin was lightly tanned and flawless. She looked at him with large, caramel brown eyes that sparkled and shimmered. She was wearing a pink tank top and capri jeans. She smiled a brilliant smile at him.
It's good to know what she was wearing, because it's important.
It is. I want you to picture her in your brain.
I don't want to picture her, because I know she's going to die.
What? How? What? No way. Hello, can I help you? Are you lost? She wondered.
Why is that the first thing? People don't come to my house ever, so what are you doing here? Are you lost? God.
She wondered. Her voice was like a song Lythe never wanted to hear the end of. He was speechless for a moment. His arrogance and pride had suddenly been ripped from his being. He had this weird feeling in the pit of his stomach that he didn't recognize. It felt like anticipation, but sorrow for said anticipation. Nervousness? Lythe questioned himself. He put his arm around his stomach as the feeling began to burn. Are you okay? She spoke. Lythe made eye contact with her once again. Yes. My apologies, miss. I'm looking for Samantha Stone. Is she available? Lythe answered. The girl smiled and admired Lythe. She began playing with her long braid. I'm Miss Samantha Stone. What can I do for you? She replied.
Why does the Grim Reaper look like a 15-year-old boy?
I never said he was 15.
Obviously, either this girl is like, ooh, an older man is into me, or...
I never said she was 15.
I assume they are.
Oh, that's fair. I imagine actually they're like 18.
So it's legal?
Yeah. Well, it's an after-school special. Okay. Lythe was yet again fumbling for words. He looked at her. He really looked into her. If his stare was any stronger than this, he could bore holes through the poor girl. Lythe couldn't find anything in her.
That's not how eyes work.
Lythe couldn't find anything in her. It was pure light that hurt his eyes to stare into. Did he read his list wrong? I'm Lythe. Would you like to get something to eat with me? He needed to find out what she had done before sending her to the pit. He couldn't understand the weird sensation he had in his chest. Excuse me? She wondered.
You wanna go on a date? I
just showed up at your house.
I don't go to your school, and I'm just here. So please go out with me.
Lythe forgot for a moment that as lustful as humans were, most of them needed to know one another before any type of social transaction took place.
That's not lust, then.
As lustful as humans were. He's like, oh, right. As much as humans, normally want to bang, a lot of them want to, know each other before that.
I know. I'm just saying that it's not lust if you're it's just one person you're dating. That's just affection.
Lythe looked into her eyes and skimmed her mind. He read that she went to a school nearby and she was in AP psychology. He used this information to his advantage.
AP psychology?
Yeah, advanced placement psychology.
Implying there's a low placement psychology for all the dummies? All right, we're going to talk about brains and feelings, guys. And everyone else is like, we're going to talk about Freud and how much of an idiot he was.
AP psychology was actually a class that you could take at Garnet Valley, but the thing is that you had to be very smart to do it because it was such an out of left field class.
You have to be smart for any AP class.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that too sudden? I'm in your psych class.
I've never seen you there before.
I just couldn't muster the courage to ask for your company today. Unless you're doing something important, I would love to take you for something sweet. Lythe lied. Samantha hesitated, but could not get over how handsome, sweet, and chivalrous Lythe was.
He's not chivalrous. He knocked on your door, killed your flowers, and then was like, go out with me. You don't know me, but do it.
Lythe also struggled to take his eyes in admiration away from Samantha.
He was kind. He said it in a kind manner. Is that what you meant?
Let me grab my purse. Lythe nodded and then waited for her. A few minutes went by and Samantha had returned from her house. Her beautiful face was red on one cheek and tears stung her eyes. Are you all right? You look hurt, Lythe implied.
How much time had passed?
Probably 4 minutes.
Okay.
A few minutes, in fact, had passed. Without even realizing what he was doing, Lythe placed his hand on the side of her face and examined her tenderly. A new emotion had risen, and he was very much familiar with it. Wrath. I'm fine, really. My brother can just be rough sometimes, Samantha answered. Lythe wanted to storm into the house and commit violence to her brother, but decided against it.
An alien is experiencing emotions for the first time. I want to commit violence.
Yeah. He was shattering enough rules and regulations at the moment. I'm sorry.
Whose? I don't know. He has a list. I guess someone's writing that list.
I know.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, he said. It's not the end of the world, she smiled. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger, right?
No. They give you trauma.
What doesn't kill you will probably succeed in the second attempt. Lythe was overcome with guilt as he walked her to a nearby ice cream parlor. I don't know why he was overcome with guilt, but we've hit our symbols again and we are back to the present.
Oh, so we're not going to see the date. Oh, those are just flashbacks.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a flashback. You loved her? Luci quizzed. Lythe suddenly realized he was slightly shaking. Luci placed her hand on his shoulder. Yes, I did. This is the first time I think I have ever been confused about anything, Luci. I am truly at a loss of understanding. It has been 1 year and I still cannot comprehend why she was on the list, why she was still sent to the pit. She was utter perfection. When we first met, she was the kindest person I had ever had the pleasure of being accompanied with. She didn't stop smiling, not once. I read her entire life while she sat there and spoke to me. She did not lie, Luci. What human is incapable of lying? She told me about her dreams and her past. Sam went on about things that dazzled her and the things that annoyed her the most. She was so nervous yet completely and utterly comfortable. Sam made me feel normal.
I don't believe that.
Sam made me feel normal. She made me feel loved, and I never wanted that to end. I searched and searched for something to justify her name on my list, but I was at a loss for a reason.
Okay, so this guy is not obsessed with her. He's obsessed with the fact that the system is broken.
Mm-hmm.
And she is just potentially one of many victims who just went to hell for no reason. And he's like, fuck. I'm part of something now. It goes all the way to the top.
Oh, I wish it was that smart, doll. I'm so sorry. It's not. I kept her safe. I protected her. I grew to love her for 4 months. She told me
That's it? You're an immortal being, motherfucker. Control yourself.
No.
Get a grip.
Get a grip.
Luci, smack him. Smack him at least once.
She told me that was the best summer of her entire life. I still couldn't understand anything, and I lost her. My whole being, my job has been black and white, but now all I see is gray. How do you live with it? You make it seem so easy, Lythe cried.
Alcohol and knowing it will one day end.
Luci felt hot tears threatening her eyes, but she held them back.
Oh, Lucy's affected by this nonsense? What is she?
I don't know. See, I don't know if she's affected by this nonsense or if she's affected by that secret that she's supposed to have kept buried. So we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, that's right. I thought that she just unearthed the secret, not her own.
Well, we don't know. So we're...
Did you just spoil something for me?
I don't know. I'm literally just using the thing from the very beginning that we read, and I'm figuring stuff out as we go.
No.
It has been 10 years since I've made eye contact with this.
And it's also been 9 years and 11 months since you blocked it from your memory.
So I just completely bye. Okay. I'm not sure, Lythe. I don't know how I can make it seem easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to move on or to not be sad. That girl planted a soul within you. You can feel it. Love, sadness, happiness. You can feel emotion and grow to enjoy it.
Also, you're broken as a Grim Reaper, so they can't take you back.
Lythe, I can answer some of your questions, though. You just have to swear you won't be angry with me, Luci answered. See, this is why she was crying. Lythe looked at her intently and with wonder. He grabbed her arms and gazed into her eyes. She felt the bent thorns of the rose dig into her. Tell me, he begged. Luci began to feel reluctant. Lythe, I'm not sure you are ready to know. Luci frowned. Lythe came up fast and gracefully. His hand dropped the rose and gripped around Lucy's thin neck. He pushed her up against the large tombstone he was glooming by.
This is weirdly sexual and also just weirdly threatening. Why is he about to commit more violence to a strange woman?
He hasn't committed any violence yet.
He's got his hand on her neck.
Thunder boomed with fury in the sky. Lightning slit through the dark clouds like a blade, and each raindrop came down like bullets. I've just got so many problems.
Man. That's a lot. So much violence in your weather, and also just so many similes. Metaphor? No similes.
It's actually, just all similes. Luci looked into Lythe's black eyes. I loved her. She was not just a charge. She was my equal. You will answer my questions. Don't lie to me. Don't be cold as if ice encased your heart, Lythe threatened.
Why would you go there? I don't have a heart, first of all. I'm pretty sure I'm an angel or something.
He snarled at her. His canines and the teeth next to them were fang-like. Lythe released her.
You bothered to learn the names of the canine teeth, but not the next ones. You just said, and then other ones too.
Yeah, it's fine. Lythe released her, and she put her hand against her throbbing throat. He took a step backwards.
Ew.
It hurts. It's boom, 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 it hurts. He took a step backwards in regret and turned his back to her. Lythe made the rain come down hard enough that it began to chip away the statues of the cemetery.
Jesus, that's...
He looked at the stone before him. His finger traced the letters engraved in it. Samantha Stone, loving daughter, and a pure heart. 1993 to 2009. So how old is that?
1993?
The year you were born.
16.
Okay, so she was 16. I was wrong. You were right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You made it 1 year older than you were, or 1 or 2 years older than you were, so that they would seem mature.
So mature. Luci looked up at him. I told her, Lythe stammered. Told who what? Luci questioned.
What do you think, you goddamn idiot? I told her that I told the girl that we're talking about that I am a creature of some kind.
Samantha, I told her about everything. I told her that I was a fallen, about my job of collecting specific souls, about how she was supposed to be next. Everything. She didn't even blink. She was actually pretty okay with it, Lythe mumbled.
You're telling me God's real? Oh, God. I was kind of an atheist. Oh, that's why you were going to hell.
Oh, no. All right, we're hitting another flashback right now.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. Samantha,
now we're going to see him...
do something.
We're going to see him do exactly what he said.
Just said. Yeah. Samantha, I need to tell you something. This has been ripping me apart, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you the truth sooner. Lythe.
Her heart. It's just like, oh no, either you're illegal and you are about to be deported, you're cheating on me, or you're really 30.
Yeah, none are great. Lythe regretted. Samantha looked at him and took his hand. What's wrong, Lythe? She asked. Lythe pulled her hand up to his lips and kissed it softly. I'm not who you think I am. Lythe.
Oh, God, you are 30.
Lythe began, but Samantha put her fingers to his lips. I know who you are, and I don't care what you were. I love you, Lythe, and nothing you can say will change that. You can tell me, but I know what you are. You are my everything, Samantha promised.
So somehow she figured out that he is an angel of some kind.
Can we just
also,
admire this fan fiction bullshit garbage where I'm like, I know what you are. You are my everything. Like, excuse me?
She's 16 and he's immortal. So that's kind of a pedophile thing.
Yeah. Okay, so we've left the flashback. We're back in the present now. Please, Lucy, you are my best friend, my only friend, Lythe cried. He turned to her. Tell me, he begged. Lucy wanted to walk close to him, but she feared that he was going to hurt her. No, I can't do that to you, Lythe. It will kill you, she bemoaned. That's a new one. That's a new one.
Kind of appropriate.
Yeah. Lythe roared in fury. Thunder clapped. The sky over Lythe was littered with dark storm clouds. Hail and ice rain shattered down like broken glass. Lythe fell to his knees and gripped the grass in his hands.
Oh, Jesus.
Frost-
This is like an anime when someone's like best friend died.
Frost built up on his
for
shoulders.
2 episodes.
Frost built up on his shoulders, and it continued down his back and the tips of his hair. Tell me, or I will never speak to you again. You will spend eternity alone and isolated.
Wait.
Neither
no.
of...
No. You said that... No, you said that I was your only friend. Not the other way around. You're not my only friend, Lythe. I have many friends. You're
the one who's just being a dick right now. You will spend eternity alone and isolated. Neither of us want that, Lythe threatened. Lucy couldn't breathe. Being alone was the thing that she feared the most.
Aw, shucks. Aw, jeez.
She looked down and then up at the sky. Light from the summer's sun broke through above her. Suddenly the land behind her turned to light. The sky was a brilliant blue. The sun's golden shine was blindingly beautiful. The grass was puckish and green. Lucy stood there engulfed in a white nova. When the light dimmed, her beautiful golden locks were dry, her face was clear, and her dress was restored.
You're not the only one who can do this, bitch.
The sky over Lythe was dark gray with clouds smothering it. Ice, rain, and hail pelted down like bullets from the heavens.
Second
use of bullets. Yep. Misery and anguish filled the air, and frost developed on...
What does that mean?
Well, this is what it means. And frost developed on statues and headstones. It was an odd sight to see the sky sharing two different personalities. I will tell you, Lythe, Lucy informed him. Lythe looked up at her. Samantha was on your list because she was collateral for a deal her parents made. That is why she is damned. She was born out of her parents' own sin. You lost her not by your own fault. You did nothing wrong. You just evaded the inevitable. That is what really happened. Lucy confessed the truth.
What does evade the inevitable mean?
Well, he didn't kill her at first. He kept her alive for 4 months. When he was supposed to have killed her when he knocked on her door. He protected her from anyone else that would come to try and take her until he couldn't protect her anymore.
Knock, knock. Hey, so... Oh, hi, Lythe. Is there a complication here? It's like, no, you gotta leave, man. You gotta leave. What? No, I'm here to collect someone named Sam. She was due 4 months ago. We're getting some calls, man, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we can't just, return someone else and bring her back. That's not how this works. It's not UPS.
It's not like an overdue concur receipt. Like, we need this to be done.
Wait, is the implication that her parents made a deal with Satan?
Yes. Lythe did not speak. Lucy put her hand on his frostbitten head and showed him what happened that day. Flashback. Lythe, come on. Where are we going? Samantha snickered.
Oh, so we don't actually get to see her reaction to... I am
an immortal being of darkness? No.
I'm a demon. Oh, I thought, you were adopted or, an orphan or something. And that you were,
I thought you were just emotionally damaged. Lythe, come on, where are we going? Samantha snickered. Her long brown hair was pulled up in a high ponytail and it cascaded down until it rested at the small of her back.
Jesus, she's got long hair.
Yeah.
A ponytail goes all the way down to the small of her back?
Mm-hmm. Lythe's hands covered her eyes as he led her to his destination. Be patient, he smiled. They finally stopped in a meadow. The grass tickled Samantha's legs beneath her flowy white skirt. Her dazzling doe-like brown eyes lit up when she saw the picnic laid out in the summer sunshine. Lythe took her by her hand and sat her beside him on the light blue and white checkered blanket. Samantha pushed Lythe's hair out from his eyes and she stared into his dark irises. It's like staring into the sun. Your beauty is so blinding and stunning. I cannot look away or live without it, Lythe promised.
That's really intense, Lythe. Like, I'm meaning to talk to you about this. I think you love me a lot more than I love you, and it's kind of putting a lot of pressure on me. And, like, even my mom's a little weirded out about it. So, can you, like, tone it down?
Can you, like, chill? Samantha's face broke into a grin, and her lips pressed against his as she kissed him. Lythe wished the moment would never end. Samantha leaned back and hugged him tightly. Tears slid down her smooth face. Lythe embraced her close and felt her shake with sobs. Lythe's eyes flashed solid black for a moment, but returned to normal. I'm afraid, she cried. The sun's shining light began.
Oh, okay. That's actually, like, I know that I need to chill, but I also really appreciate you just explaining your emotions to me because I'm kind of new to them, so you know. But
I do need to be told.
yes.
The sun's shining light began to dull as clouds began to disease the sky.
Disease the sky?
Yeah. Lythe looked straight up, keeping them away, and the sun's warmth broke through. He stroked her beautiful locks and rocked her slowly.
You're really into her hair.
It's very pretty. I wanted really long hair.
Ugh.
There is nothing to be afraid of. It will all be okay. I promise you. I will protect you. I will keep you safe, Lythe swore. Samantha wept against his torso, wetting his dark shirt with tears. What if you can't? I know you promised, but what if it's supposed to happen? Will it hurt? Do you think it will be dark? Samantha sobbed. Lythe put his
I can tell you exactly what it's going to be like, but you'll hate me.
Lythe put his hand tenderly under her chin and softly brought her face up to his. Samantha's face was red under her wet eyes. It will be painless, peaceful, a sweet release. Darkness will never burden you again. It will be as bright as the July sun. It will shine and your soul will make it even brighter.
Is the implication here that she's a little depressed? Like, you'll never see darkness again. Because I see it every goddamn day, man. Thank you so much.
I think the implication is she's scared of the dark, thus her question.
Oh. Okay. Well, her brother is abusive.
Yeah.
I just assumed that everyone was, especially if her parents were like, we made a deal with Satan.
And we put you up for the collateral, by the way. Not our own souls. No.
And not darling Charlie.
Yeah.
He's our firstborn. You're just a mistake. And by mistake, I mean girl. We did want a second child.
Lythe told his love. He could feel tears stinging his eyes and a force gripping his motionless heart. Will I go to hell? She asked. The truth stung Lythe's mouth. I may not have all the answers, Samantha, but I know that if there is a God, he will certainly not damn you to hell. I won't allow that. I promise
you don't know if there's a God? Who else would know but you? What kind of world is this? You're a fallen. A fallen what? The assumption is angel, because I read this book about Bible stuff. It's called The Bible, and they say that they're angels, and I'm pretty sure I'm one of them, which would imply a God.
See, okay, so then he continues the explanation with, I won't allow that. I promise you you'll be rocking a halo and harp if you go anywhere, which you will not, Lythe lied. He let tears fall from his eyes that turned black. Luci appeared behind a tree. She stayed hidden, but she could see Lythe and Samantha. I'm so sorry, Luci apologized. A boy stood next to her. He looked about 16. His hair was snow white and spiky. He wore a blood-red dress shirt and black slacks. He looked to Luci with black eyes. Go ahead, Damon, she ordered.
His name is Damon?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a demon?
Yes. Damon nodded his snowy head and raised...
Not Damien.
No, just Damon. Damon nodded his
That's not a name.
Damon is a name.
No, it's Damien.
It's Damon.
Damon?
Damon.
Like Nightman?
Like Damon Salvatore?
It's not a real person.
Okay. You know what? You are absolutely correct. He's not a real person. Damon nodded his snowy head and raised his hand a bit. He concentrated on Samantha. I love you, Lythe, Samantha whispered. Damon's power took effect. Her vision blurred and she fell limp into Lythe's arms. Her eyelids fluttered shut and her heart slowed. Lythe held her close in the warm sun and let the clouds accumulate. I love you too, Samantha, he stated. Lythe convulsed with sobs as he held her close. Damon and Luci were suddenly accompanied with Samantha's transparent spirit. Damon took her hand and they were surrounded with flames and then they disappeared. Luci looked away from the smoldering spot where they once stood and then back to Lythe. I'm so sorry, she whispered, and a devilish tear escaped her eye.
So he knew that they were about to just cap her in the back of the head.
Yeah, I guess.
So he basically said, I'm going to do this forever. And then 3 months later, they were like, we found you. You're not hard to not find. So you're not hard to find. So, yeah, give us the girl. Well, what if I say no? Well, there's so many more of us than you.
All right, that's the end of the flashback. Now we're back into the present. Luci released Lythe and then looked down to him. That is how it happened, Lythe. I'm sorry.
Wait, he didn't
I'm
know?
so sorry. I think he knew as she was dying. What he didn't know was Luci was involved. Luci ratted him out.
Oh, okay, I guess.
Sorry? You're not sorry. You find this funny. Her parents made a deal with her as the bargaining chip, and that is the reason she has sinned. You have no empathy towards that, yet you apologize. Do you expect that this will all end blissfully and will embrace and live happily ever after? Lythe questioned. I don't understand why you were being so harsh to me.
Wait a minute. Also, going back to him threatening for her to be alone, obviously Damon's going to be around.
I don't understand why you're being so harsh to me. I was just doing my job, which you should have done in the first place, Luci shouted. A sound came from Lythe. Luci wanted to assume it was a snarl of agony, but she already was familiar with what it really was. He was growling at her. The frost.
Why
couldn't I just said he was growling at
Yeah.
her? Well, the frost bled down his dark sleeves. When he stood, the ice made cracking sounds as it broke like china.
I bet you thought this was so fucking cool.
Oh, it's so fucking cool. It was basically like, yeah.
You're just using that as an excuse to crack.
Crack all of my bones. Yes, okay.
But you thought that was so fucking cool.
So fucking
Because
cool.
of ice powers, and he's like...
No, not ice powers. He just was like getting out, and I was like, he was all covered and cold and great. Lythe looked straight up into the dark sky, and the rain and hail stopped, freezing in time. He smiled a crooked grin at her. Luci stood in the sunlight, her fists wrapped around a chunk of her dress that fell to her side. My job? I know why my charges go where they go, except for her. I had not an inkling of understanding for her damnation. Now that I do, I am baffled. If that wasn't reason enough to be harsh, I now become aware of the fact that you assisted in her murder and neglected to tell me. I thought you were my friend, Luci. I trusted you, Lythe roared.
We're work bros at best. At best, friend. You have vastly overestimated this relationship. You seem to vastly overestimate every relationship based off of this last few months.
He opened his arms wide and huge black wings ripped from his back, shredding away his thin black shirt. The wings.
So he's shirtless and with shadow wings right now.
Shadow wings. The wings were 10 feet long and they smoked. The black feathers clustered together were frayed and burned at the ends. The edges of his wings were smoldering and lined with embers as if they were eternally lit. His torso and arms were insipid, but a black symbol was etched over his heart.
Oh, fuck. God,
I
hate it so much.
He was beautifully sculpted and masculine.
Really?
His dark...
Wait, no. You're just making that part up.
Nope. Nope, that is in here. He was beautifully sculpted and masculine. His dark wings flapped and the malodorous stench of sulfur burned Luci's nostrils. Some of the suspended rain and hail were thrown from their place and sprayed her. Luci looked at him, and Lythe saw that he had scared her. He had never scared Luci before, ever. She had seen everything he was ever able to do, and it was now that he had frightened her. Not because of his masterful performance with his wings or his power over the clouds, but because he was angry with her.
Oh my God.
Luci had never experienced Lythe's wrath. Luci wiped her face and glared at Lythe. She jumped up into the air and twirled around. The white nova, very just like Sailor Moon. The white nova once again engulfing her slender form. Lythe covered his dark eyes with his forearm. The light dimmed and Luci was fluttering eye to eye with Lythe. The two floated on opposite sides. The land around Lythe darkened and began to storm once again. The land behind Luci was bright and full of life. She smiled at him. You're not the only one who can do all those fancy schmancy tricks. If it's a fight you want...
Spoken like a true angel. Fancy schmancy.
If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you will get. If defeating me will make you feel better, by all means, throw a punch. It won't bring her back, though, Lythe, Luci stated.
Also, I'm pretty sure I'm your boss, and I'm going to win.
Lythe released the hail and rain once again. The wind blew with a vengeance and swept up a few small headstones. They floated near Lythe, and then he jerked his hands in Luci's direction. The stones flew towards her. Luci's wings spread out, and she lifted off into the sky. Her slender form became a silhouette in the gleaming sun. Lythe took off after her, his huge wings leaving behind a few smoldering feathers. The clouds began to fade from where Lythe stood, and the dark gloom followed him. Luci looked back and saw that Lythe was gaining on her. Luci stopped dead, and Lythe halted as well. Give me your best shot, Luci demanded. Lythe's hands balled into fists.
I did. I threw the statues at you, and you ran away.
He charged her. His body crashed into Luci's, and he took her to the ground. The impact was so severe it made a small crater. Lythe was on top of Luci.
Big one. That would be excessive.
Yeah. We're like a quarry-sized hole right now. Lythe was on top of Luci with his fist raised above his head, ready to strike her. He panted and looked at her for a long time. Her dazzling blue eyes were closed, and blood dripped from a small line from her mouth. This is a flashback.
Oh, okay. Goodbye. Goodbye, climax. Goodbye, tension. Goodbye.
Why must you make the sun so bright and happy, Luci? Can't you dim it a little bit? Maybe I should get some rain rolling in. A June thunderstorm is always a nice orientation to summertime, don't you think? Lythe smiled. Luci looked at him and continued to lick her vanilla ice cream. Don't you dare. Today has been one of my finest examples of work. Well, then again, there was that Sunday in Tuscany.
Wait.
Wow, that was truly a fine sunset.
Wait, do they just control the weather and sometimes kill people?
Maybe? Luci.
Or is she like a weather angel and he's a death angel and sometimes they just hang out?
Luci reminisced. Lythe rolled his eyes behind his dark sunglasses. She looked at her ice cream melting in her sugar cone. "Wanna lick?" Luci wondered, shoving the frozen dairy treat into his face.
This feels very good omens, by the way.
You know what? Never in my entire life had ever seen that. "Wanna lick?" Luci wondered, shoving the frozen dairy treat into his face. She smeared it around and it became sticky on his glasses and nose.
Ew, she's just like smushing against his face.
She's poking fun at him. Lythe's tongue flicked out and licked up the dripping ice cream from his upper lip. "You have a death wish, sunshine?" Lythe sneered. Luci couldn't answer due to the fact she could barely breathe. She was laughing so hard. Luci looked at him and covered her mouth, chiseled with a wide smile. "You look like a mime," she informed. Lythe put his hand to his face and grabbed a handful of ice cream. He shoved it back in her face and smeared it on her hair. "Now we match," Lythe cackled. He doubled over in hysterics and went to his knees. Luci pushed him, and he didn't stop laughing. "I'm sorry, sunshine, but that was just priceless," Lythe panted. Luci started to laugh again, too, and she kicked him playfully. "You are such a dork," she smirked.
What is going on?
That was a flashback. Now we're back to the present.
But still, were they on a date?
No, I think they were just hanging out.
They were calling each other, like, pet names.
I mean, he calls her Sunshine, probably because he's literal sunshine. She didn't call him a pet name at any point.
Not even at the end?
She called him a dork.
Yeah, it's kind of a pet name.
Okay.
But also, they had enough ice cream on his face where he could take a handful of it and return.
Yes.
That's too much ice cream.
Yeah, but now we're back in the present, and it doesn't matter. "Luci? Luci!" Lythe screamed. The clouds dissipated and faded away. Lythe's wings retracted into his spine with a crunch. He cradled Luci's body in his arms and shook her lightly. Please be okay, Lucy. I'm so sorry. Please wake up. Lucy? Lythe roared. Lucy quietly groaned and her eyes fluttered open. Lucy? Lythe repeated. She tried to get up, but Lythe restricted her. Ow, Lucy complained. Oh, Lucy, are you injured? Did I hurt you? I'm so sorry. I take it back. I take it all back. I would never abandon you. I trust you. I shouldn't have said those things.
This boy is 15. He's flip-flopping all over the place, and every emotion is the emotion that exists.
I know you were just doing your job, Lythe stammered out an apology, but was interrupted as Lucy clamped her hand over his mouth. Lythe, we have been friends for over 3 centuries, and in all of those years, not once have I witnessed you as happy as you were with that girl. Your anger is completely expected. You loved her. When you love someone, they become part of your being. Your relationship with Samantha was so much more than that because she gave you your being, your soul. Losing her, you lost a part of yourself. I'm sorry I did that to you, Lythe. So...
And I am way more mature than you, so I'm going to let it go.
Lucy paused and coughed. Lythe held her as she shook. Easy, Lucy. Don't worry about giving an epic speech. Just let's get you home, okay?
Epic.
Lythe wondered.
Lol.
He was about to lift her up and fly away when she put her hand on his bare chest. Hey, I'm going to give my awesome speech. If I'm going to use this much brain power, might as well put it to good use, right? Where was I? Lucy paused and thought for a minute. We'll just call it even, okay? Lucy questioned. Lythe nodded and then stood up. His wings ejected from his back and spread wide.
Ejected?
Yeah, from his back and spread wide.
Like detached?
No, like just popped out.
Oh, okay.
The rotten egg aroma once again flooded Lucy's nostrils.
Lythe, I can fly on my own. I don't need to smell that and do this. I can do it.
Lythe, you really need to do something about that smell, she laughed. Lythe rolled his eyes and then jumped up into the...
You were trying to kill me a second ago.
Lythe rolled his eyes and then jumped up into the sky, flapping his wings. The sunlight warmed them both as Lythe got closer and closer to the clouds. It's a very nice day today, sunshine, Lythe told Lucy with a smile. I do my best, she answered. Lythe began to laugh when he suddenly sensed it. He turned his head and saw 3 malice guardians gaining on them.
Fuck does that mean?
I don't know, because that's the end. That's where we end it.
That's not an ending. That's like...
But the malice guardians aren't after them.
It's like, will be continued.
Nope. Never to be continued again. So that was it.
Really? There's not like another part to that?
Nope, that was it. That's the only thing that I wrote.
I bet you had a plan.
I don't think I did.
And then a week.
Because I'm pretty good.
I think you had a plan to write more. And then
but
you
here's
forgot.
my thing. I'm good at normally like remembering the development I go into on things. And I don't have any development for this.
I don't think you had any development for anything. You were 15. You just were like, I'm going to write something. And then I have more. And then, homework got in the way. And then you forgot about it.
All fair. So those are the first 2 stories of short stuff for A for Effort. What were your thoughts?
I'm going to give it an M for melodramatic.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us. And don't forget, you're not good at something until you suck at it first.